Right? Welcome to British American Tobacco Zimbabwe. My name is BAT.zw. I will be your program director for today. With me today, part of the panel, I'll start on my immediate left. So, Leslie Malunga is our finance director. Next to him is Mr. Stephen Nyabata, who's our acting managing director. And then next to Mr. Nyabata is Mr. Lavmo Manata, who's our chairman of the board. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, first things first, can we please make sure that our phones are on silent or on vibration to avoid any issues. And from a lavatory perspective, we've got the gents this side as we go out of this door, and then on the ladies, it's on the other side. So as always, we've got a very brief agenda for today. We'll just touch on the key business highlights, as well as the interim results, which is what Leslie Malunga will be taking you through. And then we'll hand over to Stephen Nyabata to actually take us through our 2019 outlook. Emanating out of that will be the usual Q&A, and then we'll take it from there. Once again, welcome to BAT. And at this point, I'd like to hand over to Leslie. Please give him a round of applause. A louder one would be great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ndu. Without wasting much of the time, I will take you through the interim results in case we lose power very soon. Okay, up to June 2019, I think some of the key highlights for financials are with the volume decrease of about 20% versus H1 2018. This is mainly driven by obviously the shrinking disposable incomes that we're seeing in the market from the consumers. We also launched our annual Tambarara campaign, which started in July, and then our operations are taking 7 years of lost time injury. So we've now gone for 7 years without any accidents in the factory. Just to show you what's happening with Madison in terms of the Tambarara campaign. So these are some of the visuals you'll see in the market. We're doing instant wins and some lucky draws where we do draws like every month for our consumers. This is just to try and ramp up our volume and also to keep our consumer excited. So these are some of the pictures from the market where we're doing a lot of consumer interactions and also some of the display units that we have in our key accounts. In terms of our financials, revenue was 48% above same period last year, it's 29.4 million. Gross profit 61%, it's 23.5 million. Resulting in 9% profit of 11 million before tax. This is 10.3 from previous period last year. Profit after tax is 14% at 8.5, this is 7.4. Some of the key highlights, as I mentioned earlier, our volume was 20% down. Marketing expenses were 54% up. This is mainly driven by increased distribution costs and also some inflationary pressures coming from the market. Overheads were 117% above same period last year. This is mainly driven by a once-off restructuring cost that we carried out in the first half of the year, and also inflationary pressures coming from increased prices in the market. Moving on to the digital P&L, I think we spoke about revenue. So what you'll notice there is other income and expenses, which is 654% up at 3.2 million. This is mainly driven by FX losses we are incurring on our foreign liability. So with the introduction of the new currency, you will find with our US dollar debts, when we revalue the debts, we are finding ourselves in a loss position on other income. Moving on to the balance sheet, in terms of non-current assets, they are up from about 7.3 to 16.9. This is mainly due to the director's revaluation we took on the assets on the opening balances from USD into ZWL. Inventories are fairly flat because we haven't started receiving one of our major raw materials, which is beef, so this is due to seasonality. Trade and other receivables 291% up from 4.7 to 18.5. This is mainly driven by prepayment we did for our leaf purchases. So we had to put in a huge prepayment to our suppliers so that they will be able to purchase leaf off the floors. And this leaf is also coming at interbank rates, so the amounts are quite huge. Cash and cash equivalents continue increasing, 41.4 versus 33.5. This is also mainly driven by our inability to service our foreign debts, hence it keeps growing. Trade and other payables, 42 versus 30, which is a 38% increase. This is also driven by our inability to service our foreign debts. If we look at the statement of cash flow, net cash generated was up 0.4. This is mainly driven by the increase in receivables. Then net cash utilized in investment activities was very low due to we didn't spend any money on capex in the first half of the year. And then net cash equivalent increased by 1.6 million because we didn't pay any dividends as well. So net cash and cash equivalent at the end of the year was about 7.9 million. At this point, I'll hand over to Stephen for the 2019 outlook.
Right, thank you very much, Leslie. Thank you very much. So from an outlook perspective, we anticipate that the second half is going to be tough again. Consumer affordability remains a key challenge for us. Against the background of rising inflation, devaluation, and stagnant wages, things that we are all familiar with. I think the issue of rising cost is a key area for our business. Just to give you a perspective, we use a generator here for almost over 10 hours of the day. And as you know, just yesterday, there were new prices again that we released for fuel. So it's an area that is of concern to us, and we'll continue looking at it to see how we can come up with solutions for that. But however, on a brighter note, we anticipate that the second half will be better than the first half for two reasons. Firstly, from a seasonality of our business, we are normally better in the second half of the year than the first half. And then secondly, there are a lot of exciting things that we're doing with our portfolio, which we think our consumers would love. And they will add to significantly improvement of our business. Just generally from a cost management perspective as well, we're looking at our route to market to make sure that we create efficiencies. We always talk about this. It's about making sure that our distribution channels remain relevant in the context of the environment that we are in. So we're implementing some of those changes during the second half of the year. And during the later part of the first half, we did invest in the acquisition of a new line in our secondary manufacturing department, which will, in our view, will really improve the operational efficiencies. But I just want to talk about the market structure briefly so that we get a bit of understanding. So what has been happening of late is that we've noticed a steady growth of illicit product in the market. So illicit product is simply a product that is not paying duty in the market. We estimate that government is losing at least $2 million United States dollars equivalent a year as a result of illicit cigarettes that are being sold in the market. Again, from a legal business perspective, it constrains us because we are not able to participate with dealers or traders that are not paying the requisite tax. So, two issues for us: if there can be enhanced enforcement from the Zimbabwe revenue authorities in the factories, in the import warehouses, and implementation of simple technologies like machine counters really, that are installed in the factory to make sure that the manufacturers are declaring the right tax that they have to be declaring. Because how it operates right now is that the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority pretty much looks at these issues based on the declarations that are made by the manufacturers themselves. Of course, they do come and do audits from time to time, but it's normally after the fact. And another issue for us, as you know, in the mid-term budget statement, the minister did increase excise on cigarettes. and also introduce a component of ad valorem taxation, moving from the pure specific tax that we used to have. So just to explain the issue in more precise detail, ad valorem system, a specific system which we have always had in operation, is pretty much based on the number of cigarettes that you manufacture as a manufacturer. So for example, we had a specific system last year that operated at $25 per thousand sticks. So each cigarette that you produce pays an equivalent tax. So it's a very simple system. But they've moved now to introduce a second component of an ad valorem system where it's now based on the manufacturer's price. So I think you can already see that there's a problem in that respect, because if it then depends on the manufacturer's price, it can be anything that it is. And then that, in a way, causes a lot of under-declaration. So just globally, to give you a picture, most countries have moved away from ad valorem taxation. In fact, in SADC, as we speak right now, nobody uses ad valorem system for taxation of cigarettes for the pure simple reason that it raises issues of under-declaration and fuels the illicit market. So for us, that's a challenge, and we are in continuous engagement with the Ministry of Finance to make sure that that issue is properly looked at. And then the second issue is on legacy debt. So we have legacy debt amounting to 22 million, which we have registered with. We are in the process of registering with the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe in terms of the RBZ directive. But then from a long-term perspective, we are still speaking with our bankers. We need to come up with firm solutions of how to deal with current and future accounts for the foreign currency requirements. And then the last thing has to do with the appointment of the managing director. The board appointed me as an interim managing director for British American Tobacco as they finalize the processes of recruitment of a suitable person for the position of the managing director. What I can tell you is that the board has greatly advanced in this respect, and we believe that in the next few weeks or so, the board will be able to make an announcement in terms of the listing rules in this particular respect. So I think at this point, we pause and ask for questions.
Thank you very much. Can you please give Stephen a round of applause, please? Okay, I think this is the time where we ask questions. I assume there's none. Okay, there is. Jono's there. Okay, cool. I think what we're going to do is we're going to do it in rounds of 3. So we'll take the first 3 questions, we'll respond, and then that's how we're going to go as we'll ask the questions. So please identify yourself, your name, and your institution. So for ease of reference, please. First round of questions, please show by raise of hands. Okay, Jonah.
Just a couple of things here. That 22 million you parked at the Reserve Bank was off your balance sheet. I mean, that's what it looked like when I looked at the balance sheet this morning. The 22 million is not there. The 22 million you sent to the Reserve Bank is not there. Yeah. Sorry? On your balance sheet. Okay, was that owed to foreign liabilities?
So this is just for the legacy component.
Yeah, the legacy component.
Foreign liabilities.
So what's it at then? Should be 200 million.
Is it 1 is 1?
That's what didn't make sense. Said. Because if these are ZWL accounts,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying?
So yes, we have applied for the 22 million through the RBZ, which we, in our discussion should then come into what is what. That's why you'll find on the notes.
The amount to related parties.
So amount to the party is 27. Yeah. So there is the dividends and for the goods and services that we receive. So the 22 part of it will be at 1:1 in this part, as per the note.
How's that working? Sorry? I mean, how's that working?
So through our discussions, and because we have these are liabilities that previously had already been approved, but there was no payment. But our understanding from the discussions we are having is we should be able to give this money to 1:1.
I was thought you had to send it to the Reserve Bank.
Sorry?
I thought you had to send it to the Reserve Bank.
No, so we've sent it. We're just waiting. We're just liaising currently.
Okay.
So there's we haven't finalized yet, but discussions are happening.
Yeah, but I mean, you know you're never going to get it. Okay, that's the one thing. And then I just want to ask about rank. Sorry, I should have asked the 3 in 1 go, but I was just...
Okay, so 20% volume decline overall. You're talking about illicit, so you're not talking about coming over the border. You're talking about people underclearing locally. I know this is a dangerous game, tobacco. But anyway, I just wanted to sort of get a better idea there, because your cigarettes should be going the other way with current pricing. I mean, I'm sure they mostly in Zambia and Mozambique, by now. The Mesa market will be full up, and you all know what we're talking about here. So that's the one issue. And then how's I see of course palm oil and all the foreign stuff is down. I mean, there's no point selling that really. But you spent all of this money building these brands, and now, unless you're selling palm oil for, $15 a box, ZWL, what is it? No.
We don't sell palm oil.
Yeah. Not anymore.
No.
But you did that. You built it up, didn't you? So you just stopped. Okay. What was your Dunhill? Sorry. Yeah. So what is that's what I'm talking about, Dunhill, not palm oil.
What's your question about that?
What is it? $15? I mean, if you're going to stop it from, used to be $2. That's what I'm saying. So otherwise, it's going to go over the border. You guys are complaining about illicit production. So obviously, there's under-declaring coming from the other factories further down the road to South Africa. Just get a better understanding of that, because I can't believe that your volumes will be down. You're either constraining supply or sales, because it'll be difficult to believe that you're not selling as much, given where your pricing is. What have you increased your prices by this year? Maybe there's a few questions, so maybe...
It's a lot of questions in one. You guys want to go for that?
So it's the AIT.
So maybe let me deal with the illicit part. So you asked about Daniel. So in fact, we have had a challenge. Daniel is manufactured from South Africa, and we import it for sale here in Zimbabwe. So we actually do have a challenge, because in terms of the instrument from the Ministry of Finance, they require that the excise on it to be paid in foreign currency. So that is a challenge, because excise, as you know, is a consumption tax. If we are getting ZWU, there's absolutely no way. Number one, we don't have it, and secondly, there's no way we can. Yes. So we haven't. If you saw from the slide, actually, from the chairman's statement, there's a serious decline in Ghana. So going into the question of illicit. So from BAT produced products, they will have the opportunity to work in South Africa for BAT and have a more aerial view of products that are sold by BAT in Southern African area. So we have not had products from BAT Zimbabwe flowing into the Zambias or Malawi's for this half.
Even when the price, I don't believe that. Wait till I go to Zambia. That's correct. Really? Yeah. What is your current pricing? What's your...
So MPPC, which is Madison and Everest, is retailing at 250 a bag.
So that's 60 cents. It's got to be legal in the country.
But you've got to put it in the context of what the price is in Zambia as well. Because your safari is about, it's about 60, I think, as well. Yeah. 60 United States dollars a people.
And
Okay.
we have brands that are non-BAT that
We actually do have brands that are non-BAT that are even lower than the safari.
In Zambia. Yes. Next, thanks a lot for that. Okay, cool. We have a question, yeah?
Thank you. My name is Loretta from MMC Stock Brokers. And my question relates to your cost of sales. I wanted to understand how you managed to grow your cost of sales by only 12%, vis-a-vis an increase of about 50% in your admin expenses and I think approximately 100% in your selling and marketing costs. I wanted to understand the strategies that you improved. Thank you.
So I think the key issues around Forex. Yeah. My name is Shelton from Imara Asset Management. So the issues around Forex, and we saw your capex line declining to zero altogether. I want to believe it's not because you didn't want to do anything then. So the question really is around how have you been seeing the interbank market? Have you been accessing something post the June separation, and how has it been going for you? Are you seeing any Forex there? If not, what are you doing?
Last one? Before we respond? Strategies behind that.
Okay. So I think the first question on cost of sales, yes, if you look at the absolute numbers, it's 12%. But when you then go and look at maybe per thousand sticks, it's actually more than 12%. So this is also driven by the volume decline of 20% we've seen, so that's the first reason. And then the second reason, what you realize is because driven by the FX issues and uncertainties in the country, we've been keeping high durations of material. So what you'll find is in the first half of the year, we actually benefited from stock that we bought at lower costs when you go into 2018. So that's one of the reasons. Those are the two main reasons, basically. And then the other one was on the interbank. Yes, so we haven't invested anything in the first half, if you look at our line, but we did get, like Mr. Nyamaza mentioned, we did get a line, a packing material in, I think, July. So we are putting some money behind some upgrades in the factory. And the way we're financing is mainly through intercompany. So we'll get some lines from some of our sister companies. And then in terms of the interbank market rate, first half, initially when it was introduced, it was really dry, so we didn't get much of the interbank rate. But what we've started seeing, I think, from towards the end of June, July, is there has been an improvement in terms of allocations and people willing to sell, mainly driven by, I think we've seen the rate moving as well, and we've seen sort of sellers trying to dictate the market. So you do get some passwords, albeit maybe at a bit of a premium, but there is money that is coming through.
Thanks, Les. Another round of questions by show of hands, please. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Tatenda Kayo. I'm from ABC Asset Management. My question is based on what the MD said. He said that the second half will be better because of the project portfolio. So I wanted to know some of the projects that you are embarking on.
Another question? Okay. So acting MD, you said the second half was more exciting.
So I think in terms of, I think this is mainly to do with managing the portfolio. It's not like really a project that's specific. But what you see, like the relay campaign which was launched in July. So obviously when we do this campaign, because of the seasonality, at that point in time, you will see your sales actually going up. So you put money behind the campaign and then your volumes go up. And then you also see some work that will be done on Everest as well. And then always towards Christmas, you tend to see a spike in your volumes. But in terms of the details of some of the things that we're doing, obviously because of competition, we cannot then really say we're doing a PCG on Everest, but you should be able to see once we launch some of the things.
Okay.
company. My question relates to a more forward outlook on the company. Globally, the World Health Organization has been raising awareness on the effects of tobacco. And with other BAT companies out there, we've seen volumes decline and e-cigarettes coming on the market. Is BAT Zimbabwe going to be affected by this awareness drive by World Health Organization, maybe to decrease the prices? And if so, is that going to be happening in the short term, or this is something that will not be happening in Zimbabwe in quite a while?
Any other question? Okay, none. Okay, I'll take this one. Okay, so first of all, I think as BAT, first of all, we support regulation, right? So we believe we acknowledge the harmful nature that comes with our product. So we'll always advocate for balanced, evidence-based regulation with regards to our industry. So that's the first thing. And secondly, with regards to e-cigarettes per se, yes, you are right. Globally, our business is moving towards what we call the potentially risk-reduced product space, which you know as e-cigarettes. So for Zimbabwe specifically, we will not be entering the market anytime soon. I'll tell you that for a fact, simply because of a variety of reasons. So at this point, I think it's more of a global agenda than it would be a Zimbabwe-specific agenda. Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? 2.5? Okay, gone. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much, Leslie, Stephen, and the chairman for answering the questions. Refreshments are served, so please join us for a cup of tea. And please make sure that you've also registered as well with our registration table. We will be sharing today's presentation as well as acting MD's remarks for your visibility. On that note, thank you very much. Mike Tabas.